Hey everybody, welcome to the Cafe Sizzle. Thank you for joining us. I know a lot of you are here every Tuesday, and it is so much fun to see all of the familiar faces, and then when you're bringing new people in, it's amazing. Today we get to have Joni Schmigdal and Cresta. And Cresta, I always say her last name wrong, even though we've been friends for I don't know how long, and I'm like, I hesitate because she's Cresta. She's a good friend, and I hardly ever say her last name. But Joni's gonna kick it off today for us, and we're gonna go over the frankincense, rose, and hope. Those are amazing oils, and at Christmas time, they're extremely um, important. I guess the frankincense, myrrh, and gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So anyway, we wanted to go over those today. And Joni, if you want to go ahead and unmute, or Kenzie can unmute you and take it away.
Okay, guys. Well, I have the privilege of talking about frankincense. I have kind of a funny story that wasn't funny at the time. I thought it would be a great idea to go to doTERRA on December 1st to pick up some orders at will call. And I could not figure out why in the world that place was crazy town. And so finally I asked, I was like, I've never, ever been here when it's been this busy. And they're like, oh, it's frankincense month. And I was like, holy smokes, these people are not kidding. Like, they want their free frankincense like today. And so I need to just keep in mind, just don't do that. Don't go to will call on December 1st because it is nuts. So anyway, so frankincense is absolutely one of my favorite oils, as it is for many of you, I'm sure. It has many health benefits and has been used for thousands of years for so many great things. So I was listening to Dr. Hill talk about frankincense, and he was talking about how it's rich in, alpha-pinene, which is really soothing and good for the skin. And it's also very rich in monoterpenes, okay? And so that really helps with cell protection, cellular protection, and just overall supporting all of our body systems, okay? So when you think about just the day-to-day, okay, that we kind of, we just live our lives day-to-day. Some of it's routine and some of it is out of the ordinary. Life happens, things come up, and our bodies are constantly in like this reactive or response mode, okay, just responding and reacting to different things that are happening in our surroundings. And so frankincense really is a multifunctional oil that can help significantly with just helping to calm our mood. It can help soothe different like body muscles and those kinds of things. That can also help just kind of balancing and helping our body kind of restabilize when, things are just kind of hectic for a minute. And so it's a really good foundational oil. You've heard it probably before, when in doubt, you don't know what oil to use, just reach for your frankincense, okay? So frankincense is really, really good. So a lot of people use this oil to support their emotional needs and also cognitive function. So I've got a lady on my team who used this with her father-in-law, and the way that it supported his cognitive function is almost unbelievable. It was just a really, really good oil for him. It also helps support neurochemical responses and in the endocrine system as a whole. And probably one of my favorite things to know about frankincense is that it helps to support our cells. It helps to support a healthy cellular regeneration process. So while our cells are alive, they're constantly going to be replicating and regenerating, right? And so what we want to happen is we want healthy cells replicating healthy cells. We do not want damaged cells replicating damaged cells, and frankincense helps promote that healthy cellular regeneration process. That to me is huge, and for me personally, that is the reason why I will use frankincense every single day for the rest of my life, for just that reason alone. It's just, I want my cells healthy. Okay. So it's effective for soothing agitated muscles and tissue. Okay. So those are just some of the most common ways that it can benefit the body. So I want to talk about some practical use. So diffusing frankincense is very powerful because again, it can target mood and mental wellness. And when it's diffused and you're inhaling it into your lungs, it can actually help promote your lung function. Okay, so very good for that. You can use it internally as well. Okay, when you use it internally, you can target things like your liver, digestive support, urogenital functions, I can't say this very well, muscular skeletal, there we go, system. So things like your joints, ligaments, bones, muscles, those things. Okay, so you can just rub it on topically. So if you've got some discomfort in your knee, just put a drop or two of frankincense and rub it on topically. Okay, so using it topically too, it's just kind of a way to have it on your body so that you're smelling it and you just are kind of like a walking diffuser. So again, targeting the mood. You can put a couple drops in a capsule. You can just put a couple drops under the tongue. I know that's a very common way that people will use it. I know a lot of people who just kind of rub some on the back of their neck throughout the day. For younger people like children and on my infants that I did this, I'm not telling you to do it, but from day one, it was frankincense on the crown of their head and on the bottom of their feet, just to help support their little cells. They just transitioned from one extreme environment to another. And so we use frankincense on our brand new newborn infants for just helping to support their little bodies and making that transition from like being in the tummy to coming out into the world. And so you can implement using frankincense for your daily beauty routine. Okay, it can really help reduce the appearance of blemishes and help rejuvenate the skin, making it more radiant and resilient. I know people who buy frankincense and specifically just use it on their skin, on their face mainly. Okay, and so a quick fun fact, and then I'm going to focus a little bit on co-impact sourcing with frankincense because it's pretty neat what doTERRA does with our frankincense, the ones who harvest it for us. So there are dozens of different species of boswellia trees, but only 4 of those species produce the frankincense resin that provide those really good therapeutic properties to the body. And so doTERRA uses 3 of those species. Okay, and so the neat thing about that is we have an exclusive blend of frankincense that's exclusive in its benefits and quality and purity. Okay, there's no other frankincense on the market like it. It's a proprietary blend of these 3 different species of frankincense. And in my opinion, it is absolutely the best. Okay, so frankincense is amazing. It's called the king of oils for good reason. It's very versatile and diverse, and I would suggest using it on a daily basis every day just to help promote the normal aging process, cellular regeneration process. Who doesn't need a little extra mood and memory, cognitive wellness support, right? We could all use some of that here and there. So our frankincense is primarily, it's harvested from Somalia, which is a really hard part of the world. It's very desolate. It's a very barren region. And before doTERRA started working with the harvesters there to buy their frankincense, they would just have these like individual harvesters that would get permission to go in and harvest frankincense from different regions. Okay, and then they would just sell it to these middlemen who then would take it and sell it for more money to other people who wanted to purchase this frankincense resin. And so the sad thing is that because the middlemen were involved, these harvesters were not getting paid for the real value of the resource that they were providing to the world. And so when doTERRA decided to come and work with these farmers, they kind of put this co-op together and said, look, you guys have like some of the absolute best frankincense on the planet, which they probably didn't even realize at the time, right? And so so what they did is they started working with the government, working with these farmers, working with the people who are kind of like overseeing the territory, and they said, look, we want your frankincense and we want to give you a fair price for it, and we want to improve your community. We want to create more jobs for your people, because this is like their only resource. They don't have any other industry that was really going to make a significant difference for their country and for their people. And so so it's awesome what doTERRA has done. They've built boarding schools for their children. They've built health centers and hospitals so that they can get medical treatment and healthcare like they've never had it before. They've created so many more jobs for not just the men, but also the women, you know, in their community. And then they've created a long-term, benefits, not only for us in terms of, you know, us having access to their frankincense, but for them who harvest it and provide it for us. And they also are 100% totally focused on the sustainability of these species of trees. And so they study these trees, they study the health and, you know, what the long-term effects are going to be on harvesting oils in these specific regions. And they do every single thing that they can and take that responsibility to make sure that the health of the trees is sustainable as well. So I love that about doTERRA, that it's about benefiting everybody, not just doTERRA as a company, not just me as a consumer, but the farmer and the actual plants that produce, you know, the essential oil in the first place. So if you haven't gotten your free frankincense yet, get it. You can get up to 4 per account, okay, throughout the month of December. So anyways, share the benefits of frankincense with people because it is absolutely stunning. It is stunning. Thanks for letting me share, you guys. Happy December.
Thank you, Joni. I love it when you present because you have so many good things that just amazing. You're
Thanks,
spectacular. I don't get to hear you enough, so I know that you have other things, but thank you so much for sharing with us. And
you're welcome, guys.
Frankincense. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So next we are going to have Cresta. And Cresta, if you want to unmute, or I think Kenzie's actually going to unmute you.
Hello.
Okay, so say your last name for me.
Glazer.
Glazer.
Yeah, so just take the G off, and then it's just spelled
laser.
And there you have it.
Laser focus.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there you are. Thank you. I should know these things, but you know, how often you're Cresta.
Yep.
So anyway, so go ahead and take it away.
All right. Well, today, hello everyone, first of all. I get to speak about the Hope Oil. And I'm just going to turn you all to gallery view here. By a quick show of hands, how many of you already have this oil? Just about everybody. Excellent. Okay, so let me tell you why you need it. Okay, first of all, Hope has a very, very special meaning to me. Because I was at the convention when, well, I've been at a lot of conventions, but I was at the convention when Tim Ballard, who is the founder of Operation Underground Railroad, introduced himself and his organization to us. And that was also the time that they introduced the Hope Oil to us as well. And so if you're not familiar with what Operation Underground Railroad is, it is an organization that Tim founded, like I said, where their sole purpose is to find and rescue children who have been kidnapped and put into the sex trafficking world, okay? So this convention was very, very powerful for me. Seeing him present on stage was extremely moving. Because we were in the Vivint Smart Home Arena, and I can't remember for sure now how many seats are in there, but I think it's something like 85,000. You can do a quick Google search and see how many the Vivint holds. But what he asked us to do was to look around the arena and imagine that there was a child between the ages of, let's say, 2 to 18, sitting in every single one of those seats. And then he asked us to multiply that number by 14. And that was the number of children who are currently trapped in sex trafficking in the United States alone. And so as someone who's obviously lived here my whole life, I was completely blown away by that statistic. I had no idea that the depravity of our community of our world was that terrible. Like, you sort of expect the bad things to happen in other like third world countries, or, you know, places that you don't really know about, or places where there's a lot of crime or whatever. You know, you kind of like make up these stories in your mind to just imagine that this place we live in isn't bad like that. But it's bad. It's really, really bad. And it's probably right in your very town. It's probably right in your very backyard. We heard stories after the fact in subsequent years at convention where events like the Super Bowl, events, you know, that like in Las Vegas, where there's a large gathering of people, especially traveling from all over, can be huge trafficking hubs, and it just makes me sick to my stomach. If you have been affected by child molestation or anything like that, which, let's face it, in this day and age, a lot of us have, then something like this kind of really hits you right in the soul. So doTERRA partnered with Operation Underground Railroad and created this hope oil. And the ones we got at convention, I'll just show you this really quickly. They have a peel label where inside the label is a phone number. So what they would do is they would sneak these bottles of oil into the hands of the children who were trapped. So they'd have people who were working undercover. They would sneak these bottles of oil to them, and they could see, you know, it's just a perfume, right? You just roll it on. You can use it as a perfume. You can have it, whatever. But the secret phone number was in there so that these children knew that someone was out there looking for them, that help was coming. And so that was really powerful for me. And so Karina will share more about the rose oil or the rose lotion, but the hope oil is the same sort of situation where for $20, it's literally only $20, where 100% of that money will be donated to Operation Underground Railroad, so that we can support them in their efforts to get to these places where these children are being used and abused and sold in basically these trafficking rings. So I highly, highly encourage you, if you haven't already, to please try it. Grab yourself a bottle. I can honestly say that of all of the scents that doTERRA carries in the Touch lines, this one is probably by far one of my favorites. I absolutely adore the smell of this oil. Because it has so much emotional meaning as well, it almost makes it smell that much better. So because it is an oil, I do want to share a little bit about what's in it and what you can use it for. Like I said before, I generally just use it as a perfume. I love it as a perfume. I'll put it on my wrists, on my neck, back of my neck, just wherever where I can smell it. It contains bergamot fruit oil, which is not from the rind, the ylang-ylang, frankincense, and then vanilla bean, absolute. So there's definitely a distinct scent of vanilla in it, which I really, really like. The thing that it says on our product information page is that the bergamot fruit is not one that causes sun sensitivity. So you don't necessarily have to be as careful with this in going outside in the sunshine as you might with something else that has, you know, the citrus oils in there. It can be a very uplifting oil. You can rub it on different things. You can rub it on like a cotton ball or something and put it in your drawers or closets to freshen your clothes, that sort of a thing. Anyway, it's amazing. And like I said, I think that because of the purpose of what this oil is, it's one that, like I said, I highly, highly encourage you, especially this time of year, to get yourself a bottle. And if you have teams, I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to have little like fund drives or something of that nature where, you know, maybe you throw out a prize or a drawing where everyone who gets themselves a hope oil that month may go into a drawing for, you know, something else that's special. So if you watch this video after the recording, then please put a hashtag hope oil in the comments if you've already gotten one, or if you get one after watching this video. Okay, you guys. So so yeah, just get yourself some hope, because it's amazing and everybody needs some.
It is an incredible oil. I just thank you, Krista, because I don't think there was a dry eye at convention when they presented that. Every time he comes, he gets a standing ovation, because so many of us are so passionate about stopping this. We not only get a beautiful oil, but we get to participate in the fight against this, and that's just incredible. It's a dual fold, and so thank you for sharing that. Now I get to follow that. Thank you so much, as I'm over here going but it's awesome to be able to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and share about the rose. So rose is one that, when I heard about, oh jeepers, the co-impact sourcing and the Healing Hands Foundation, rose was something that rose lotion, and that's what this is. That's what they came out with. That's what I got to see right away. And so for me, and I'm sure that everybody has a rose lotion. For me, it was like, oh my goodness, this company isn't about just the product, it's about giving back to others. So rose lotion is a double. You get the beautiful benefits of an amazing lotion that has rose, which is the highest frequency oil on the market, and it is an oil of love. You get that in this bottle, but every penny is going towards the helping other people in other countries. And so that to me was really incredible. And for those of you that have watched the Healing Hands, you know that that money is spread out. So let's run some numbers. Krista was talking about how many people are in the Vivint Center. So 90,000. So let's do, I'm going to get my calculator out. And for those of you that are fast math, 90,000 people, and you times that by 20, because that's what a bottle is for. So that's $1,800,000. That's significant. That's a lot of money to go for helping other people. And who doesn't want to be part of that? We have this really cool shirt that said, everyone is called, some to give and some to go. So when we can't necessarily go into the field and help directly hands-on, we can still give. And so this one, the Healing Hands, or the rose lotion, is a double giver, and you're getting the benefit and you're also helping somebody else. And with the hope oil, it's same thing. You're getting the benefit of the oil, but you are helping stand in the gap with a fight to help somebody else. So those are so important. So just so you know the difference, the rose lotion is different than the rose touch. So the rose touch you do purchase, and it's separate, that the money for that does not go towards the Healing Hands. Both of them are incredible, because rose oil is so beneficial. Let me see. I'm gonna read it right out of the book. So it's good for low libido, scars, wounds, and wrinkles. So skin issues. We're gonna. I should probably flip this so we're a little bit more compliant, because I have a book that's not compliant. So when you have a loss, you have the empty chair at the table for the holidays. Rose is a very supportive oil for your emotional well-being. It's also good for times when you are extremely sad, and there's a like a weight on your shoulder and you just can't seem to find any hope, rose is very good for that. So if you have skin issues on your face, uh, rose is very supportive of that. I'm really not even going to read the last one because it's for males and some different issues there, and I'm really glad I read ahead. So then we have it's really soothing for your emotions and to help to just balance those emotions, because when you have emotions that are all over the place, you have a lot of different chemistry changes. People are like, so how do emotions affect our physical well-being? Well, it changes the chemistry. It changes our chemistry, and when you're using oils, they're helping to kind of balance, get your chemistry levels to balance out so that you are able to deal with whatever situation's going on. So I use the emotions book, which I think is really good. I take the pieces out of it that I really like, and I leave the other parts that are like, okay, that's not exactly for me. And we're all adults, and we're well-thinking people. We are able to take what we need and leave the rest. So the positive properties of rose: loved. It's a feeling of loved. It's helps with compassion, feelings of compassion for somebody else. Tender-hearted, accepted. It just helps. It helps the chemistry for love. How's that? So we'll leave that one. But these are incredible gifts. We're at the Christmas season, and Christmas can be just one of those times of year that it creates a sense of bubbling of joy for me. But on the other hand, there's all of these other emotions that come in. After we lost our son, it totally changed the holidays for me. I love the holidays. I love the memories. And I do a lot of oils for supporting my emotional well-being during the holiday season, because there's just a wealth of emotion that goes with all of the memories and the scents, because we know that smell can trigger different memories. And so just having some tools in your tool belt, like the Hope oil, it lives up to its name. Use it as an emotional support as you're coming into the season. Rose, the touch and the lotion. If you're out in public and you know that it's going to be a fairly high emotional thing, take the rose lotion. It's amazing. It's really good for the dry weather that's going on. Use the rose lotion for your personal support and for helping your skin. So those are some tools. Frankincense is huge for emotional support. Take it use it. Make sure you are being well taken care of so that you are able to pour out for your friends and family for the holiday season. So Krista, you want to chime in on anything else on that? I know we're trying to keep it at half-hour segments, so we're doing really good. It's 11:29. We rock these. So Krista, you want to join me?
I don't have anything else to add other than I absolutely love the rose lotion for all of the things that you mentioned. I also really like it for bug repelling in the summertime. If you've ever not used it for that, like, it's fantastic. If you feel like coupling it with the Terra Shield, then it's good too. But as just sometimes you get those little pesky critters that sometimes you just need a little extra, and that it's a great addition. So anyway, I don't really have anything else more to add, but thank you for having me. It's been super fun to see all these faces and to reconnect for a few minutes.
Yeah. So we usually open it up for some questions. Anybody have any questions today or thoughts?
I'm going to hit stop on the recording real quick.
Okay.